So I was wondering, what was the inspiration for Doppio?
Well, let me start like this. As you know, it's almost 40 years since we have signed the license with the Swiss Railways, the SBB, for the design which they are known for at the station clock. We brought it from the station to the wrist and out to the world. That's our normal speech. In the beginning it was very tough because we were in the 80s. Designs were not so simply or modern, and minimalistic design became more popular. In the meantime, we thought, well, we do need a second leg. Next to the MONDAINE SBB, which is highly visible, highly recognizable, and it's a symbol, icon of Switzerland, no doubt. Has been there. The clock has been there for 1944, so that's 80 years. And what can stand next to it? We needed to find a symbiosis between our DNA and a modern design, minimalistic, sustainable, Swiss-made. So all the characteristics which are inherent to the MONDAINE brand. And obviously that's not easy. If you want to create an icon, you usually only know afterwards. And if we want to have something standing next to an icon, it's also not easy because it's the same brand, it will be on the same display, so it is shown together, but it has to stay by itself. So I approached actually two designers. One is a well-known typography person in the north of Switzerland.
Okay, that's interesting, yeah, from a typography angle.
And not because of the typography, but because he is absolutely nerd of minimalistic design. And we asked him just to do the graphics, 2D. We want to have something which can stand next to SBB, which is recognizable as a MONDAINE watch. So it has to have some similarities with the SBB, but it should not be just a knockoff, of course, because they have to be able to stand alone by themselves under the same brand of MONDAINE. He came up with these index which look almost like one index, but there are two.
Yes.
And that's what I liked, because it is different. It is still the strong index which we have, but it doesn't look that strong because it's divided.
I wonder, is it probably even the same width as on the SBB?
Almost.
MONDAINE.
It's really almost.
Yeah,
if
almost,
you would fill up the gap in between, it really looks like.
But of course,
We have to adapt it, of course, to make it look good.
That's interesting.
Now we have got these index, but an index alone doesn't make a difference. What is needed, of course, are numbers. We introduced numbers, sometimes only 4, sometimes 6 or 8,
right.
depending on the model. So, because there are a lot of people who do like numbers. And that's what we want to achieve. We want to be in the DNA of the MONDAINE, the minimalistic design, Swiss-made, repairable, and all the features which Swiss-made watches have. Sustainable, part of our DNA, very well readable and recognizable. At the end, the idea was born, okay, we have a double index, we have a double hand. Well, I have to talk about the case, of course, as well. We wanted to make it really liked. It must be, when you take it in your hand, you must feel, hey, that feels good.
The feel-good factor.
The feel-good.
And really, it's just an incredible thing to look at.
And that was again Martin who made the Stop to Go. He said, well, look, you want to have something which shows your heritage, where you're coming from, but it has to be modern, it has to be contemporary, long-lasting. So we need to do something. And first he came with the idea of the old dials in the 70s and earlier, which were bent downwards. I said, no, that looks too old-fashioned. And we don't just want to do a retro like everybody is doing. We need to do something different. So he immediately jumped around and said, okay, let's turn it around. Instead of down,
Yes.
let's turn it up. And that's what we incorporated here. The case, which is really smooth and nice to touch. The dials and hands, which are really unique. We also added our very, very old Mondaine logo, which our father created in the early 50s, which actually shows different things. It's round, so of course it's a watch with a crown at the top. It's an M, like the company, Mondaine, and the brand Mondaine. And there are two mountains if you look properly. And of course Switzerland is known for mountains, so it really combines everything what we have to say. Hans Hilfiger, who designed the Swiss Railway, he once said an incredible phrase which I always keep in mind when we talk about Mondaine. Good design is you cannot add anything because it would be too much and disturbing, and you can not leave anything away because it would be missing. And that's the railway watch, and I think we try to follow his philosophy here as well.
But you didn't just stop with design, right? You also went one step ahead and implemented some sustainable features, the solar-powered battery,
yes.
for instance.
As you know me, and you have been visiting us at some of the events, including, I think, the inauguration of our solar power system on the factory. Sustainability is in our family DNA. That's the way we were brought up, my brother, myself, and our sister. Food waste was not a topic at those days, but I don't remember we have ever had food waste at home, because everything was used. But for me, it didn't stop there. And one of the things which always was bugging me are the straps.
The straps, okay.
I wanted to have a strap with more animal-friendly background.
Simply, before maybe the trend, I guess, in the vegan word.
Well, the
became
vegan was already there,
yeah.
But of course niche. But I said, well, we hear so much about those animals, and there are even so-called leather cows. They only live to give the leather to us, which is totally insane, not even the meat. So I said, okay, let's try and look around. And I looked around in our industry and no one had any idea. I said, okay, if our industry doesn't have, maybe there is an industry outside who does. And we found an Italian company, a startup, experimenting and doing leather out of the grape, leftovers from the wine industry. And for me, that was immediately a big go. Wine, nice.
And if
glass, I don't think you need more, but maybe two. You drink the wine, and the leftover from the wine production is a strap. We tested many other materials. There were, at the end, 2 in the lab tests and also in the wearing tests, which really were sticking out.
Okay.
That was grape and apple skin. Both performed better than natural leather. You don't sweat, they don't smell, they are dry. So the price is not more than real leather. There are no animals killed or have to suffer. So it's really a win-win for everybody. We can offer straps which are vegan, which are absolutely an upcycling at the same price. And that was always the philosophy when we created something in sustainability. You remember the Essence, our watch, which was made out of castor oil, or still is made out of castor oil. We wanted to make our lowest priced Mondaine Swiss Railways watch, but at the sustainable level. And still today, I believe it's the most sustainable watch in the world, made out of sustainable materials, assembled with photovoltaic power. All emissions are being
net zero.
In today's world, you don't use that word. We support companies, NPOs, who are removing emissions. That's supporting. At the end, it's compensation. Our father, as mentioned in the beginning, has developed the world's first analog solar watch in 1971. We had some lines in our brand M-Watch in the 90s using solar dials, but then the know-how disappeared. It was lost in Switzerland. And I was a little bit skeptic in the beginning. Will it really start working when it's totally flat, fast enough? Will it last long enough? And I tried it, of course, myself. I was a little bit suspicious if it does, and I was totally surprised. It started working after the first few meters I was walking outside, and it never stopped again. I'm wearing it now for, 3, 4, 5 months. It never stopped. So it really is something terrific, and of course it is sustainable. You don't have to change the battery, which is not only good for sustainability, but also good for your wallet. You don't have to change batteries. As a matter of fact, those first watches which my father created in 91, I still have got one. I took it out, and it took about 10 seconds, and it started again after 50 years. So
that's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. Wow. Maybe someday someone will do the same with the Doppio. That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, and I think it also fits the time. I think it also fits the younger generation who cares about the future, next generations.
Yeah.
Of course, don't change the world, but we give a symbol or a sign. We can do. Everybody can do something. That's what we try. We, as a small medium company, we cannot change the world, but we show it that even a small company like us can be CO2 neutral. Why can't the others? Nobody will buy a watch because it's sustainable. Correct. Because only no watch, no mobile phone, no car, no electricity is sustainable. But if you want to have the most sustainable watch, take one of ours. At least it's better. And even people who don't care about sustainability or don't believe in climate change or whatever, they will not buy the watch just because it's sustainable. If they like the design, if they like the price, if they want Swiss made, water resistance, and all the repairable and all these things, they take also sustainability as an add-on.
So talk about a little bit about the name Doppio and maybe what it means to you, or what it in a greater context.
We were thinking a lot about the name for the line. And I'm an espresso drinker, between 10 and 20 easily per day, mostly Doppio. So when we looked at it closer, we saw, the double line, the duality. And for me, it was an extremely good fit to this line. It lifts, design-wise, from the duality. But there is so much in our lives, and sometimes we maybe even don't recognize how much duality we have in our own life. Always nicer to have your life joined with a partner. Doesn't always is nice. You fight. You cannot fight alone. You need two to fight. So whatever we do in our lives, there is a lot of things which have got this duality. And that's a little bit the story of Doppio as well. Of course, the coffee, the espresso is nice, but there is a lot more behind the Doppio and the meaning of Doppio in our lives, the duality.
That's very philosophical.
It is a little bit philosophical, but if you start thinking about it, there's so much in our life which is there. And you asked me about our company, and as you know, I'm working with my brother for almost 40 years together. Two brothers, Duality.
Right.
And I have 2 dogs. No, actually, I had 2 dogs. That's also duality. And it was with so much joy to see how they played together. Now I've got 2 granddaughters. They play together. It's 2. So there is so much in our life.
Yeah.
If you see what duality means, you will find something in your life, in everybody's life, and every day, where duality plays an extremely important role. And that's what we also would like to transport a little bit with the watch on your wrist. It's not only the double index and double hands, it's also your life.
Couldn't have said it better. I think this is a really nice.
But it comes naturally.
Yeah,
because it's really there. But what I'm actually wearing is the Solar.
Yes.
Because for me that's really the innovation in the line. We will not stop with the Doppio using the Solar. It will come in other lines as well. But I think it's a really good start for Doppio to start with a solar technology. It was lost in Switzerland for so many years, and finally it's back and Swiss made. Of course it has got its price. It's a bit more expensive than the others, but you save on battery changes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Learned a lot, and it was truly an honor. I mean, to have so much time with you.
We know each other long enough.
Yes, yes.